You're watching Taste of Victory.
What's up, guys? We're here with Tesero, who just wrapped up his Digimon Nats run at 71st. Amazing showing with Minerva Loop. So Tesero, you want to go ahead and introduce us to this list, walk us through your choices?
Sure thing. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of this list. X&2 is a pretty good record. I just lost in the early rounds, which killed my tiebreakers. But this is the list. Starting with the eggs, we have the pretty standard DemiMeramon. It does exactly what you want, draw and discard, because you're digging for more combo pieces and trying to fill your trash. There's no really other consideration in a deck like this. It's also why we're running Gabumon. Great hand advantage here, especially compared with Eyesmon Scatter mode. If you played Loop before, this is pretty standard stuff. What's new is the Ignitemon. It's because this deck primarily revolves around Mervamon, so we're using it for the Digicross for the extra memory value, which comes up a lot, and for the when attacking, which you can combo well with the Mervamon. You can top your own Merva to kill like level 6s and such. It gains rush from Mervamon and also blocker. And the next rookies are the pretty standard floodgates. They come up a little bit. Gazimon hasn't been coming up that much this tournament. I think it's not the meta for it really. But Psychemon is pretty huge. It stops your opponent's Lilithmon plays, and it's really helpful against cross. Really clutch against cross. And then I newly added a Devimon to this deck, thanks to Rusty's suggestion. This brings up the rookie count up to 11, which makes things a bit more consistent, especially since you're trying to aggro with this deck. It's another Retaliator, so it can block, and also it's a 3-cost that you can play and gains rush from Mervamon, which also can be lethal at times. Moving on to the level 4s, that's a pretty good standard Eyesmon package. Can't go without it. This is basically your primary game plan for most of the deck, is just to get Scatter out and swing. All you want to do is just drawing cards and filling the trash. Eyesmon is perfect for that, and Scatter is perfect for that, and Eyesmon is the perfect combo enabler, which enables a lot of crazy turns, because sometimes you really need that extra body to really pop off. And also just to maintain a purple source if you pull up Eyesmon and you don't have anything else, which you often do. Obviously, we're also running the full Ginkaku package, Ginkakumon Promote, and Kinkakumon, because, when putting all three together, you get one memory, which makes, when you're playing it for Mervamon, makes Mervamon cheaper when you're playing it from your hand, or also just gets you more advantage if you're playing it with the other effects that we'll talk about later. I've been loving all event in general. I experimented with cutting it before, but I went back to it and I didn't regret it, especially Kinkakumon, which really helped me out a number of times for getting rid of Floodgate rookies or just board control in general. Love this combo. Basically the Exodia. Just kidding. Just kidding. And then the last champion is DarkLizardmon. Because one of the primary playstyles of this deck is to just put Dark Lizard or Eyesmon Scatter over Gabu and just start basically beating them down with those. Eyesmon Scatter being a 4-cost really helps a lot with that, because you can just drop it down and it's very, very efficient as an attacker that way. Moving on to the level 5s, we're running running the usual Cerberus package of Cerberus and Cerberus Werewolf, but only 3 of each. I felt like I could go down to 3 and be fine, because going up to level 6 and looping isn't always your primary game plan in this deck. It's a bit more flexible than that, but I like having the option of using this, because I love Cerberusmon for being able to fill the trash really well. Pulling it out of the raising, going to Werewolf. It's like the four cards from the stack plus however many discard triggers you got, plus 1 from Cerberus, 1 from Gabu, 1 from DemiMeramon. Really great for filling the trash, and of course it's another avenue of getting rushed, because you're trying to find lethal a lot of times. We also got the one of Lucemon with the Dead or Alive. I just like having the extra ability to have removal, which is really nice. Comes up a lot, especially with one of the other 6s I got to show later. Other than that, we got Kimera. Kimera has been pretty nice. I put it in initially to give a certain Creepymon rush, but then I started really liking it in general. It comes up a lot in a lot of situations. You're pretty often bringing out 2 Digimon with Mervamon, swinging them, and 1 or both will live, and then you can Jogress into Kimera for another way to get lethal, or just Jogress into Jogress Kimera and go into like a Minervamon or something, and continue combos that way. And also, the -2 KDP that you'll get from it is also really good for getting rid of the floodgates like Pomamon and Terriermon, which can get in the way. So really nice card. Really glad I put that in. And the the main event, the level 6s that we're running, the most important one is Mervamon. This is the thing that is built around. It's super versatile card. It gives rush and blocker, so you can use it both offensively and defensively. It digicrosses, which reduces its cost from 11 to 8, and then with Ignitemon and its sources that you're digicrossing under, you gain a memory, so that technically costs 7. But you also have another way to cheat it out, which is the next mega, which is Minervamon, which is something I wasn't on initially. So if you see like an earlier version of my deck list, like on GFG, or you see Rusty's list from Oceania, who's playing a version based on my earlier list, that wasn't running Minervamon, but Llama Boy put me on Minervamon, and I've been loving it. It pairs well with the Pandemonium Flame that I put it with, because you can delete it yourself that way. Being on deletion, spawning Mervamon is a really great way to put it out, because it's one of the least, it's a really good non-committal play. I really like, in the really removal heavy meta we have, I really like the ability to just climb and raising all the way up to Minervamon and then pulling it out, and then being able to go into Mervamon that way instead of the other typical way of doing it, which is with Lilithmon, which I have as a one of. I also have the typical loot package of Lilithmon and 4 Jack Raids. I was running more Lilithmon before, but I would put it down to 1 because I only ever need the 1. This is loop, you're drawing a lot, so you often find your one-ofs in these decks. But the Jack Raids are huge. A lot of the times where what the win con is to just, basically play Champion Rush, then drop Jack Raids to drop Mervamon with that passing turn for 3 more swings per game. It's really nice. Besides doing that sort of thing, Minervamon is another way to get at Mervamon. It's really great. The Pandemoniums help a lot. Pandemonium is a great removal in this meta because a lot of unsuspending going on. If Melga hits an insecurity, they're dead. You can use it to delete the Black War Greymons, which are constantly rebooted, so they're going to be unsuspended, which deletes them only once and gets rid of their protection, but then you have other ways to follow it up. So if you say use Pandemonium Flame on Minervamon, you delete with Pandemonium Flame, which gets rid of protection, then Minervamon's on deletion will spawn Lucemon Chaos Mode and give you your second deletion to get rid of the Black or Greymon or Gaiamon. Though another way you can do it is after Pandemonium Flaming is to bring out Mervamon, and use Mervamon effect to bring out Ignitemon, which then gets Rush, which you can swing, which also has another Pandemonium effect. You pop your Mervamon, delete them, and then you're left with level 4 as well. It's really great, really versatile with a lot of ways to out Black or Grey that way. So I've been loving the Minerva. Retaliation, also super hot. Oh, and the opponent turn effect to drop bodies when they play bodies, really good against cross. That's really there's a funny thing you can do where if Minerva is out and Psychemon is out, his Psychemon is practically immortal, because if they bring out Durulu to pop Psychemon, Minerva will trigger, brings back out the Psychemon. They can't get rid of it unless they're running like Fireball or Crimson Blaze, which not a lot of lists are doing right now. We talked about Lilith, and then my personal favorite, Creepymon. I love taking people out, so I have to put him in there as a one of. It doesn't come up a lot, but it occasionally clutches things out because it's another way to bring out Lucemon, or another way to bring out, say, Werewolf mode to get another body rush to swing. And I have decked out people with this card before, even in Nats. I decked out like a Veilstar player at one point. I just love Creepymon, so I usually put him in lists like this. I try to find ways to make it work. And of course, the one of Deathexmon, pretty huge. Not a lot of people run it in this meta because of all the stack decks, but it's really huge against Justmon and Crossheart. They were really great for me. He carried me in games against those matchups this weekend. So can't live without Deathexmon. And of course, the options got standard consistency boosting purple memory boost, which it being in security has stolen me a lot of games as well. The broken Calling from the Darkness one of course. Deathclaw, which is another way to get rid of floodgates, so you really can't go without it. It's also another way to self-delete your Minervamon. Same with Calling, another reason why it's broken. And then lastly, we have the 2 analog youths. which is a great card. Consistency boosting and helps you get more memory when you're doing Cerberusmon stuffs. And that's basically the whole deck. The gist of it is that you're generally trying to aggro them down with DarkLizard and Eyesmon so that you can set up for Jack Raid, like 20 memory, you get 2 memory Jack Raids so you can play Mervamon without passing turn, or sometimes you can just play Mervamon while passing turn and putting up blockers, which is great against like Melga and Grandis and like Cross. Or if you, one thing I like doing is like turn 1, make Eyesmon, turn 2, swing Eyesmon, it dies, I feel trash, I immediately drop Mervamon. You know, that early in the game, it's 3 bodies. Even when I'm passing them like 6 memory, they don't always like have the hand ready to challenge it, right? Because oftentimes, like unless they just open the nuts, they're spending that turn dropping searching rookies and stuff like that. So it's extremely aggressive. And of course, besides doing that, you can also go into your megas to have other ways to get into your Mervamon plays. Really flexible. Really love this deck. I think it's really good. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome. No, yeah, this is such a thoroughly thought out list, and I think you were like really prepared for what you expected to see at the Nats playing field. So what did you end up seeing, if you can remember, to go through your matchups at Nationals?
Sure. Round 1 I lost to Black or Gray. Mainly to, I missed an opportunity to delete Gabumon because I didn't realize I had it in my hand. It was like early morning, I wasn't fully turned on yet. So I lost that. Round 2, I bounced right back and defeated a Grandis player. My Grandis matchups haven't been super tough for me. Minervamon, all-star there. Generally the retaliations are super nice. I'm often in situations where they pull out and make the Grandis play, swing all my security, but they don't have lethal after that, obviously, because they don't have Omnimon or anything like that. So then on my turn, I bring out one of my retaliations, swing over it, kill it, and then take that momentum and then turn that into lethal, usually by following that up with a Mervamon, which puts up more bodies, usually enough to like kill them on the following turn. Game 3 was against Gazimon, which is another rough matchup. That deck's helped me a lot in Game 2, but not so much in Game 3, and I generally wasn't having the best hands at that time too. I think it was a winnable matchup, but I just didn't. It wasn't happening for me that day. Round 4 was against Starmon, which was an interesting list they were running. That was running Ignitemon. I still was able to just, even through that healing, aggro them down because of how much memory got passed over. It's so much easier to drop the Mervamons. And of course, one of the games, the game went long enough that Creepymon was able to mill him out. Round 5, after this was a bit blurry. I do remember I fought a couple more Black Ward players and Grandis players. So rounds, it's a bit of a blur, but most of the rounds after this were just me winning against Grandis and Black Ward players. I think this deck works pretty well against both of those decks. Black Ward can be a bit of an issue, but as long as you're drawing, as long as you like draw the right cards, you can find ways to out it or ways to outrace it. You're generally swinging a lot more earlier than they are, and you can get into situations where you can combo into a kill past their like blockers and stuff. Especially since Black or Gray X redirect effect only works on the highest DP, so all you have to do is just not swing the Mervamon, right? Or even if you do swing the Mervamon, it dies, you trigger ammo, you gain memory, and then maybe like drop another one, right?
Right. Yeah, and it's totally understandable that by the end, a lot of those kind of just blend together into a sea of wargs and Grandis. But awesome, congratulations, Tesero. That was a fantastic performance, considering how high level stacked the bracket was of player skill. Like, this is an amazing performance still. Really cool to see something a little different from the top meta decks performing this well at a nationals level. So again, congratulations. Thank you for taking time out of your day to do the profile with us, and I hope to see you again on the channel soon. Congratulations on your finish.
Thank you.
See you guys.